What's up? How you doing? Here I am again with my daughter Amanda.
Hello.
And we're going to discuss a little bit about this album here. It's called Volat by Julian Lennon. And I'll tell you what I thought when it came out.
Is that the child of John Lennon?
Yes.
Oh. Yep. Does he have a mullet?
Yes.
Oh God.
A little bit. Well, in those days, that hairstyle was popular. So, it's right here. Julian Lennon. So this came out in 1984. And I'll tell you what happened when it came out. So I had the radio on and the song Volat came out. And I was listening to it, and initially my first reaction was My first reaction was that's John Lennon, and this is a song that they released from the vault. So I thought it was like, you know, when he recorded Double Fantasy, and then they released Milk and Honey after that. So he dies, they release Milk and Honey, you know, like, what was it, like a year or so after he died. And I said, well, this must be one of those songs that they had in storage, and now they released it. I really thought it was John Lennon. So I'm watching MTV or something at the time, and I saw the video, and I said, that's not John Lennon, but it looks like John Lennon. And then I realized that it was John Lennon's son, Julian Lennon.
That sounds so weird.
Yes, but they sound alike. They have a very similar voice. So, and it's a good song. That's a decent song. It has a really kind of like a little sad side to it, but it's a really good tune. To this day, I enjoy listening to Volat. And the other, cool. What's that?
It looks really cool.
Yeah, and the other single that came out, which is a more, you know, like, you know, you want to skip around the house listening to it. Too Late for Goodbyes. You know, that's a pretty cool tune. I don't know if anything else was released off of this. If it was, it wasn't popular enough to reach me. And I like to point out that this album was produced by Phil Ramone, and the reason for that is that at the time Julian Lennon was looking for a producer, and he wanted like the Beatles sound, and he heard the Nylon Curtain by Billy Joel, and he asked around, who is this guy that produced it, Phil Ramone? And they said, you know, he's been around a while, he's, you know, top of the line producer. And he said, I'd like to contact him and have him produce my album, because I'm amazed at how Nylon Curtain sounds similar to the Beatles. So they got in touch, and Phil Ramone produced this album, and I'm glad he did, because it's a great piece of work. So no lyrics in this one. Gives you the credits though.
So it doesn't tell you, like,
well, it doesn't give you the lyrics. I guess you wanted to keep them mysterious. But you know, nowadays you type in the song's name and it'll pop up the lyrics anywhere. So yeah, big fan of this album. But a few years later, 1991, around there, what was it called? Help Yourself. That album came out, and on that album, a song called Saltwater exists. Now that song, I love that tune. It's got a little bit of a dark sound to it. Sounds like George Harrison playing guitar. It's not actually George Harrison. George Harrison supplied some notes. I guess at the time Harrison was you know, hanging out with Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton had just lost his son, and so Harrison was hanging around with him to give him some support. And Julian Lennon initially wanted him to play guitar on that song, but he was doing something else. Time? he didn't have time, but he was doing something more important. He was with Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton was going through a tough time. So, but anyway, Salt Water is a great tune. And then it was re-recorded again 25 years later in the year 2016. Slightly different version. Some of that money went to some charity. But that was a pretty good, I like the original slightly better, but the second draft version that came out in 2016 was very good also. And that one I think is called Saltwater 25. Never saw him live. I think, he was doing well, songs coming out and very popular, and then he kind of, hit the brakes on his career. I don't know what happened. But he's a great singer.
Also, just want to say something. So at my school, they do like science projects, and I did mine, and for my grade, I got an A+, and I think it was a 75 out of 80. I don't remember what it was, but then like a 98 of 100, and a 98 through 100, like 97 through 100, and I got a 98, which is an A+. So, in a little secret, I'm one of the top 3, and my teacher said, like, the host of science projects said that, like, 2 people tied for 3rd place. So, and also Isabella, my sister, is one of the top 3 too. So that's amazing.
They did a good job on their science project.
Yeah, just to say, mine was about which filter purifies water the best. Isabella's was which
It's about friction. Which lubricant is best at
fixing a squeaky wheel?
Yeah, but the squeaky wheel is a metaphor, but it's about friction. So, yeah, good luck with your gradings there.
Yeah.
So that's it. I highly recommend this album, Volat. How many songs are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 songs, which is my recommendation for any time you put out an album. Do 10. 9, 10. 11 is stretching it, but I'll let that slide. But 10 songs. 10 songs is perfect. And if you have more than 10, get rid of the ones that are above 10, because those are filler. Filter them out. So it says all songs written by Julian Lennon, except where noted. And there's a couple of 3 songs that are co-written, and then one of them is written by China Burton. I don't know what that is. Another thing I want to say, that song Saltwater that Julian Lennon had on his Help Yourself album is written by him and 2 other people. It's written by Julian Lennon. I think it's Mark Spiro and Leslie Spiro. 3 people. But that's a great little tune.
So, anything else?
That's it for that. I'm briefly going to talk about somebody that I really admire as a musician and a performer and just personality, period. Not many people know this guy. He's known by people like myself, but he's not universally known. And this guy's name is Leon Redbone. Not Leon Spinks, that's another guy.
Why is he called Leon Redbone? Does he have red bones?
Yeah. Now,
I hope not.
There's the cover. Love this guy's music. And there he is in the back.
Oh, so that's like his cartoon self, but as a frog.
Yeah.
And then himself as his real self.
Yeah.
Is he smoking a cigar?
Yeah. So, first time I heard his music was back in mid 80s or something. Around there, mid 80s. And he was a guest on the Tonight Show. Johnny Carson. And he comes out and he starts playing his guitar in a Louisiana, New Orleans style. And immediately I was like, he sounds awesome. And his singing ability is like really good. And the fact that, he has these one-liners and jokes he tells in between songs. He died recently, not too long ago. And I hope they release unreleased material from the vault. A vault. And I wish that I had seen, he's another guy that I wish I had seen live. I used to have a bunch of his CDs and I would play them loud, in my house. It was that, cool little music, slow, but he's a hell of a guitar player.
Really good.
This one doesn't have much information. Not much information at all.
It still looks really cool. Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're so nice, but take a piece of it, like if it's like a really old record, take a piece of it, and then like take another piece of it but scratched, and see what it looks like microscopic.
Right. So, yeah. I miss Leon Redbone. I'm hoping that there's something that he recorded years ago that was never released, or even a remastered, a remastered album, anything. I'll go and get it because huge fan of his. So check him out. Who produced this album?
Me.
Produced by Joel Dorn. I don't know who that is.
Me either.
I mean, I know a lot of these producers, but that one I don't know. And I was thinking, now they're releasing albums, LPs as they call them, on they're releasing that again in record stores. But why have they not come up with new material? Like, okay, you have vinyl, but scratches very easily. Like anything, like maybe you're listening to a record and a little bit of an earthquake kicks in, and the needle jumps and scratches your record. How come they don't have any kind of plastic that is a bit more resistant to scratches? I mean,
like your car's plastic. Well, like your car's not plastic.
Well, like something plastic mixed with vinyl and Teflon or something.
Yeah.
I'm not cooking on it, so I don't need to worry how safe it is for ingesting. But, year 2022 and they're releasing vinyl again, you would think that they would have come out with a better type of vinyl, like vinyl on steroids, where it takes a lot to scratch it. Maybe
what does it mean for something that be on steroids?
I mean, it's tougher than the ordinary stuff. But I mean, I get, like, what I'm saying is, like, if you had vinyl today and you took this railroad spike and went back and forth like that, it shouldn't scratch. That's what I'm expecting.
That'd be like very powerful then, and those would sell very quickly and be very expensive.
Yeah, but in the old days when I would buy vinyl, it was a shame if something happened. If you kind of went into the table and the needle jumped over, you'd get a scratch.
That's why you have to be very careful with them. Like, put it on something that cannot move at all,
right.
Or like put it on something, or put it in a box that how long the songs are. So yeah.
And let me tell you, the scratches were so easy to put in there that sometimes when it would skip in that particular spot, I would get used to hearing the song with that skip, and then later on in life when I would hear the same song on the radio, I would remember where that scratch part was on my album, and I would be like, oh, that needs to be repeating itself right there, because that's the way I would hear it after my albums would get scratched. But
it's a little sad.
Yeah, but still, I love the sound that vinyl makes. And I've said before, CDs have caught up, with 24-bit technology, but still, vinyl, you can't get a picture. I mean, why didn't they release the CDs in this big container that you would open up, and inside would be a slot where the CD would fit, so you wouldn't lose this size? And I guess record stores are probably complaining that these things take way too much room. Where CDs, you know,
Like a quarter, like this
yeah,
much.
CDs take up a small spot. But what are you gonna do eventually? You know, make them into the size of you
Quarter?
know, yeah, like a quarter. So you go in there and you know, you buy this thing. It's that big. There's no artwork anymore. So
Just
yeah, that's it.
initial.
All right,
So, ending video now.
that's it. We're done.
So sad. I wish these videos were longer, but I feel like this is so long. And spring break is in a week or something. Yeah.
I think so.
And then summer break, and then the whole new school year.
And then we go around the circle.
And it's a whole new year. Like, it felt like yesterday that we did like our last year science projects. It felt so like not so long ago, didn't it?
Well, for me, everything seems not so long ago. Everything seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid, and they would say to us, "Oh, there's one more week of school left." And then I remember one particular time in high school when it was right before Christmas break, and I went outside. It was kind of like a little after lunchtime, I remember, and I went outside and it was snowing. It started to snow, and that gave me even more a boost of euphoria that here it is, it's snowing for the first time.
What's euphoria?
Like happiness, and here comes my vacation, and then before you knew it, it was over, and
Yeah.
back to school, and then you know, boom, 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 Valentine's Day, and then da 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 da, then in March, and then you know, April Fools, and then a year later, and then 2 years later, and then 10 years later, and then before you know it, you're here.
You have kids.
Right, then you have kids. But I'll tell you this, when I was a little kid in school, it seemed like the years were dragging and dragging and dragging. I mean, it was like, okay, my birthday is still 11 months away, and those 11 months would feel like forever. And now you blink a couple of times, and
Yeah, like my friend's birthday, it's like June 20th. Then my other friend's birthday, August 24th. Like, it's not that long away. But the sad thing is, right on my friend's birthday, June 20th, is when, like, for my school's camp starts, like summer camp starts. Which I've never been to a summer camp because I feel like you just go there every single day. And all you do is activities, and then you have to do work and stuff, which I think is pretty annoying. So, yeah.
we're done.
Okay.
Good night.